Jacqueline Bisset, once considered the most beautiful woman in the world. Despite her fame and beauty, she never got married or had children. The reason behind this, as she recently revealed, is even more shocking than the impact of her father's departure from her life. Join us on this journey, where we'll reveal surprising stories about Jacqueline Bisset and share some of her rare photos. Born in Tilehurst, Berkshire, Jacqueline Bisset was just an ordinary girl. Her parents were a general practitioner and a lawyer turned homemaker. But her life took a turn when she was only 18. That's when her career began, first as a model and then as an actress. However, her life was far from glamorous at the start. When she was just 15, her mother, Arlette, was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Soon after, her father, Max, left the family. Suddenly, Jacqueline, still a teenager, was burdened with the responsibility of taking care of her mother and the household. For nearly 4 decades, Jacqueline's life revolved around her mother's care. She had to grow up quickly, putting her mother's well-being and health above everything else in her life. She wished nothing but the best for her mother, hoping she would live forever. However, life had other plans, and in 1999, Jacqueline lost her mother. For nearly 4 decades, Jacqueline's life revolved around her mother's care. She had to grow up quickly, putting her mother's well-being and health above everything else in her life. She wished nothing but the best for her mother, hoping she would live forever. However, life had other plans, and in 1999, Jacqueline lost her mother. Despite the pain of losing her mother, Jacqueline learned about compassion during that challenging time. This understanding shined through in her performance in the film Miss You Already. It's a touching story that shows the depth of Jacqueline Bisset's character, both on and off the screen. In the movie Miss You Already, Jacqueline found a role that echoed her own life experiences. The film tells the story of best friends Jess, Drew Barrymore, and Millie, Toni Collette, and how Millie's breast cancer diagnosis affects everyone around her. Jacqueline plays the character of Miranda, Millie's mother, who at first struggles to accept her daughter's illness but eventually does her best to cope. Jacqueline's journey into the world of showbiz started in the early 1960s. She began with small roles in movies, but her career really took off in 1967 when she played the character of Norma, a young woman struggling with love in the British film Two for the Road. This performance touched the hearts of the audience, showcasing Jacqueline's talent and versatility as an actress. It's no surprise that after this, her fame began to rise and people began to notice her exceptional acting skills and, of course, her stunning beauty. In fact, she was once named the most beautiful screen actress of our time. This insecurity prevented her from embracing her beauty and fully enjoying the compliments she received. Even when others would shower her with praise, calling her a beautiful woman, she couldn't believe it. She felt out of control of that aspect of her life. The same feeling of lack of control also seemed to affect Jacqueline's personal relationships. Despite being one of the most beautiful women in the world, with many men interested in her, she never married or had children. She had her fair share of relationships, some of which lasted many years, but none led to marriage or children. One of her earliest and most notable relationships was with celebrated actor Michael Sarrazin. They fell in love while working together on the movie The Sweet Ride in the 1960s. Jacqueline remembers her father's warning when he saw a photo of Sarrazin saying, "Don't marry him, he looks moody." And according to Jacqueline, her father was right. Sarrazin was indeed moody, but also lovely. Their on-screen chemistry spilled over into their personal lives and resulted in a passionate, tender relationship that lasted 7 years. After her relationship with Sarrazin, Jacqueline found comfort in the company of Algerian businessman Victor Dre. However, her life took an unexpected turn when she fell for Russian ballet dancer Alexander Godunov, known for his roles in movies with Harrison Ford and Bruce Willis.
You'll have it. But let Heinrich plant the detonators and Theo prepare the vault. After we call the police, they'll waste hours trying to negotiate, and then you can tear the building apart looking for this man. But until then, we do not alter the plan.
Their love story began in the early 1980s, and their bond was deep. Although Godunov was a handful, he had a genuine sweetness that Jacqueline cherished. She fondly remembers their time together and how she accepted him as he was without trying to change him. Sadly, Alexander Godunov's life was tragically cut short in 1995 due to complications from alcoholism. Even though they had been apart for 7 years at that point, Jacqueline was deeply affected by his death. Reports suggested that he had passed away surrounded by photographs of her. The truth of these claims is uncertain, but the deep connection they once had was undeniable. Even before Godunov's death, Jacqueline had entered another enchanting romance, this time with the talented Swiss actor Vincent Perez in 1988. Their relationship was a meeting of two creative minds bound by their shared love for the arts. Despite their deep connection, this relationship too ended in 1992. If you look closely, you'll notice a pattern in Jacqueline's relationships. They were all, according to her, beautiful experiences that ended on their own. She even claimed to have never been in a bad relationship. So why didn't she marry any of these men or have children with them? According to Jacqueline, she valued her independence too much and feared that long-term partners could develop bad habits that she would have to live with. She shared, "I've been in 7-year relationships 3 times and one 14-year relationship. Sometimes you get too much information when you spend time with people. You start to see things, bad habits, you start to discover them, and then you have to live with them. I'm not sure I can cope with that." She also reflected on times when she considered marriage but found herself mismatched with partners who either didn't share her feelings or whose proposals didn't meet her expectations. Her hesitation towards marriage was also influenced by her observation of her parents' lack of connection and warmth. Despite finding her parents fascinating individuals, she couldn't see the benefits of marriage for herself. But that's not all, you see. Jacqueline acknowledges the challenges she faces in finding meaningful roles in the present day. Producers often overlook her based on her age, failing to recognize her ability to portray characters beyond her chronological years. However, she remains hopeful that an impactful opportunity will present itself, much like her role as Miranda in her latest film, which allowed her to portray a character navigating the complexities of life, something she intimately understands. Jacqueline's life has been a complexity of love, loss, and self-discovery. Her initial struggle with confidence in her appearance was the first hurdle she had to overcome. Once she managed that, her relationships with Sarrazin and Godunov brought a spectrum of emotions, leaving lasting impressions. While marriage eluded her, she held on to her belief that it offered limited growth, a perspective influenced by her parents' relationship, which she observed as lacking warmth. Despite societal pressures, she continues to advocate for natural aging in an industry obsessed with artificial beauty. As she eagerly anticipates her next significant role, Jacqueline's own story weaves a narrative of resilience, authenticity, and the pursuit of meaningful connections. If you enjoyed this video, you might also like the one currently suggested on your screen. Click to enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.